Dr. Will, what's your take on bicarb loading for endurance runners? Look, I'm not sold. The whole premise of bicarb loading for runners is that we can maintain an alkaline pH in our blood. That means when we have anaerobic metabolism and we generate lactate and we export the lactate out of our muscle cell into the blood, along with it goes a hydrogen ion. That hydrogen ion causes acidity in the blood, so we buffer that with bicarbonate, and it absorbs that hydrogen ion, becoming carbonic acid and quickly dissociating into water and CO2. That CO2 drives our ventilation rate, and that's where we get that respiratory compensation point. The point at which, someone says, oh, you should be running hard enough that you can speak a few words but not hold a whole conversation. That's the whole premise of the talk test within running. So anyway, going back to the bicarbonate pool and bicarbonate loading, if we are running really hard, say a 400 meter, maybe a 1500 meter, we are going to be operating at majority anaerobic metabolism, generating a lot of lactate, a lot of acidity that needs to be buffered. When we have a really high buffer, so we've loaded with bicarbonate, we can potentially buffer more acidity, which means we can either generate a higher rate of anaerobic metabolism for longer, or we can just go deeper for the same amount of time. So 400 meters is 400 meters. It means we can just go harder. But what happens if we're running for 2 hours? Well, acidity and anaerobic metabolism is not going to be a rate limiter in our performance. So there's no real need to have a buffer to reduce acidity when it's not going to be performance limiting. So really you only have, in my mind, a negative consequence of the GI distress that bicarbonate most probably is going to cause, and it has no real upside. So I'm confused as to the recommendations for endurance runners to be taking bicarbonate, but I can see a place for endurance runners to take it maybe within training, maybe if you're doing a 5K, but even still, you're reaching to the point where there are a lot of other contributing factors that can influence your performance when you're around that 20-minute mark. So in my mind, just leave it, don't worry about it. It's another hype phase and it'll pass.